The celestial realm is completely stunned at this moment. This isn't due to a massive galactic occurrence or an interdimensional war. It is entirely about you, precisely because you remain completely unaware of the force pursuing you. Higher powers find it incomprehensible that you remain in the dark. They are amazed you haven't sensed its presence. It baffles them that you continually dismiss these moments as mere chance, poor rest, or simply a weird week where life seems a bit unbalanced. The spiritual guides are standing completely motionless, staring at one another. They're asking if you truly just wandered right past that blatant clue. Did you actually choose to overlook that clear signal? Did you honestly just go back to bed when we were practically shouting your name at the top of our lungs? Allow me to illustrate exactly what has been occurring behind the scenes while you are occupied with daily routines, settling your finances, handling that exhausting colleague at your job, and acting as if that gut feeling was merely stress. A distinct energy has been hovering around you for several months, desperately attempting to capture your focus. It has been trying to connect, using every possible method at its disposal. This presence isn't frightening, nor is it a looming dark cloud threatening your existence, but rather it acts like a spiritual wake-up call that keeps resetting because you aren't fully conscious yet. You are familiar with those instances where you're in the car and an unexpected track plays, moving you so deeply that you need to stop driving. Or that occasion last week when a person you hadn't contacted in ages crossed your mind and immediately messaged you. None of that was an accident. It was never a fluke. That was the universe loudly trying to reach you. Yet you remain seated there, doubting your own perception. This specific denial is exactly what the divine guides fail to comprehend. They are observing you from above, witnessing a reality that is currently hidden from your view. They are observing an enormous, monumental transformation preparing to impact your existence. Furthermore, they are astonished, truly stunned, and profoundly surprised that you haven't connected the dots yet. From their perspective, the indicators are clearly and intentionally scattered all around you. They've been leaving these markers along your difficult path, like a trail to follow. Yet, you have been walking straight past them without so much as a downward glance. Just during the previous night, 3 distinct attempts were made to contact you. Out of those 3, you slumbered past 2 simply due to exhaustion. You brushed off the final occurrence as a trick of the mind because that is precisely what society conditions us to believe. It is the way humanity has been conditioned. However, you are not to blame for this. Nobody ever instructed you on how to perceive these phenomena. You didn't grow up trusting that the cosmos actively responds, that spiritual forces genuinely step in, or that phenomena existing outside the physical proof of your 5 basic senses are actually legitimate. Yet the following truth is exactly what has the celestial realm shaking its head in utter astonishment. You have already been selected for this path. You are already designated for an incredible purpose. Yet you wander through life, treating today like any ordinary day. Your guardians can visibly witness this aura glowing from your being. This power has been accumulating within you for a long time, forming a state of preparation you remain oblivious to. They watch you while reflecting, this person is completely unaware. They lack any concept of the immense changes preparing to drop into their world. You are on the verge of entering an extraordinary new phase. yet your main concern is finishing your daily chores. A massive gap exists between the true reality of your situation and your limited perception of it, and this ignorance has persisted for such an extended period that the spiritual world is growing tearful. Consider the heavy emotional burdens you have been hauling around. I don't mean the superficial stress we all manage daily. Everyone experiences that level of tension. I am referring to the profound wounds you have harbored for such an extensive time. You have almost lost awareness that it remains attached to you. I mean the recurring narrative you repeat to justify why your deepest desires are unattainable. You ask yourself why you aren't prepared enough. You convince yourself that your goals will permanently remain slightly beyond your grasp. You have been lugging this negativity everywhere, as if it were luggage packed with heavy stones. Meanwhile, your celestial guides have spent years attempting to gently force it from your grip. Their surprise doesn't stem from your exhaustion. Rather, they are astounded that you haven't discovered your own ability to drop the burden, step away from it entirely, abandon it right on the path, and refuse to glance backward. That release is the true essence of liberation. This unburdened state is the exact independence they are attempting to reveal to your heart. Meanwhile, you remain stuck in the belief that you must somehow work hard to deserve it. A profound transition occurred earlier today. You likely experienced a sensation of it upon opening your eyes. That peculiar dense feeling that felt neither like slumber nor genuine relaxation was entirely real. That sensation was the divine realm shifting the energetic environment in your vicinity. It was your guardians physically moving the established structures of your world to create necessary space for your impending blessings. They are currently observing your reactions, curious whether you will finally perceive the shift, or if you will simply revert to your usual habits, familiar mindsets, and repetitive cycles that have held you stagnant for far longer than you'd like to confess. They hold no condemnation toward you. They do not harbor any feelings of letdown. Their genuine amazement stems from their full awareness of your incredible capabilities. They clearly envision the future iteration of yourself that thrives past your current circumstances. They witness the exact version of you that is currently experiencing the reality you've always wished for. This causes their intense shock, and they remain completely baffled as to why you are unable to view this potential within yourself. This is the core message they've been attempting to communicate. During the deepest hours of the dark, in those specific times when you hover on the edge of sleep and your consciousness wanders into the spiritual threshold, truth is near. A massive breakthrough is on the verge of occurring. A reality that was intentionally concealed and purposely guarded from your view is preparing to emerge. This revelation is not a negative occurrence. Conversely, it is entirely positive. It represents the very solution you have sought, except your method of questioning has been misguided. You have spent your time questioning the reasons behind your pain. You repeatedly ask why these struggles are inflicting you. Instead, your inquiries should have focused on discovering what lessons or insights the situation was attempting to provide. That tiny adjustment in your mindset changes your entire reality, serving as the ultimate solution your guardians have offered. Yet you repeatedly stride right past their guidance, because your attention is entirely consumed by searching for flaws. You should truly be seeking the underlying lesson, while a live discussion takes place right now in an unseen realm, entirely focused on your journey. Your guardians are actively debating about your situation, though not with any malicious intent. They are simply deliberating over the most effective method to finally pierce through your defenses and reach your awareness. They want you to realize that you are not lagging in life. Your timing is not delayed. Your window of opportunity has not closed. You are arriving at the absolute perfect moment. However, you are so accustomed to arriving ahead of schedule. Alternatively, you are used to being behind or entirely off course, which severely impairs your ability to recognize when you are standing precisely in your destined position. The divine realm remains utterly astounded because they continuously provide you with validating signs, yet your appetite for proof remains unsatisfied. You persistently request additional signals, extra tangible proof, and further assurances to confirm that your mind isn't fabricating these experiences. What exact threshold must be met for you to finally embrace the truth? What specific event is required for you to observe your current circumstances and boldly declare that you recognize the unfolding master plan? You need to affirm that you witness the divine synchronization. You must acknowledge the precise manner in which every element has perfectly locked into its designated position. This includes the difficult trials, the deeply agonizing heartbreaks, and the confusing detours, because every single event was propelling you directly toward this present destiny. Each painful departure, every letdown, and all the violently closed opportunities were strategically placing you in the perfect stance for your impending arrival. Your guardians find it impossible to fathom your blindness to this reality, especially since they have clearly illuminated it for you. They have softly murmured this truth into your consciousness as you drift into slumber. They have actively placed these messages directly in your path, through musical lyrics and everyday dialogues. They also reveal themselves during those strange sensations where you sense an observer's gaze, despite the physical room being entirely empty. Allow me to reveal the hidden mechanics operating just out of your sight. An enormous reorganization of your reality's foundation has recently taken place. I need to clarify this for you. Situations that were previously knotted and confused are on the verge of total transparency. Individuals who displayed inconsistent behavior are preparing to reveal their authentic intentions. This revelation is highly beneficial. It truly is a remarkably positive development. The reason for this is that it will drastically simplify your future choices. You have patiently desired a clear vision, and it is arriving through an unforeseen method, specifically by dismantling the structures you previously believed were permanent. This process could initially appear frightening or awkward, yet it truly brings immense comfort. It represents the cosmos actively removing the obstacles that hindered your progress. Your guardians are completely taken aback that you fail to notice the intensifying breeze or feel the energetic alteration within your immediate environment. You remain blind to a critical aspect of your own existence. This element is glaringly apparent to everyone around you, including your celestial guides, the distant friends who care for you, and even random passers-by who perceive a radiant quality that you constantly ignore. Your attention has been so intensely fixated on your failures that you have entirely overlooked the momentum gathering behind the scenes, which is now ready to explode into reality. The specific desires you have anticipated, those exact blessings you pleaded for during silent, solitary moments away from prying eyes, are currently waiting at the entrance of your life. However, you refuse to open the door because the sound of the arrival is unfamiliar to your ears. You anticipate a roaring tempest, yet your blessing approaches with the gentleness of a soft breath. You assume it will manifest through theatrical events, but it is settling into your reality with calm confidence. The divine beings are unable to process your continued ignorance regarding this matter. It baffles them that you are numb to the crackling energy charging your environment. They wonder how you miss the subtle vibrations operating just beneath your reality. It astounds them that you fail to realize the constant protection, direction, and invisible shielding defending you from hidden threats. Your existence is filled with close calls that completely bypassed your awareness. The vehicle that barely missed you, the crisis that nearly ruined your stability. The individual who came close to breaking your spirit was actively redirected away from you, not due to some ego-based superiority, but precisely because your presence is essential. Your upcoming tasks are critical, and a specific destiny awaits your arrival. Meanwhile, your celestial protectors have been expertly sweeping your road clear with absolute precision. This precise revelation is exactly what they are attempting to convey to your consciousness right now. They want you to grasp this exactly as you absorb these words, while an internal spark begins to stir within your soul. Your entire existence is on the brink of profound transformation. This isn't an abstract promise for the distant future, but a highly tangible shift occurring within the coming days. An unforeseen opportunity is preparing to present itself directly to you, and your reaction to this gift will dictate the entire trajectory of your upcoming chapter. Should you fight the change, stubbornly insist on your old perspectives, or tightly hold on to the excuses detailing why success is impossible, you will entirely forfeit the blessing. The celestial guides are currently positioned with their jaws dropped in awe because they are intimately familiar with this tragic pattern. They have witnessed humanity sabotage itself countless times, and they remain horrified that they suspect you might repeat this exact mistake unless you intentionally pause, inhale deeply, observe your surroundings, and acknowledge the truths they are actively displaying before your eyes. Consider this vital fact regarding the words you are hearing. They are not arbitrary. They are far from an accident. This communication deliberately located you for a specific purpose, and that purpose intimately relates to the exact chronological phase you currently occupy. The divine realm has been closely monitoring your path, observing your actions, analyzing your emotional state, and patiently holding out for this precise instant when your soul would finally be open to receiving the truths you consistently rejected. They are now eagerly waiting to observe your next move with this information. Will you embrace it? Will you allow it to take root? Will you place your faith in the undeniable reality of this message? It represents a divine awareness that understands your core more intimately than you comprehend your own mind. Deep down, a fragment of your soul already recognizes this authenticity. A specific intuition inside you, has spent years attempting to signal you, yet you continuously muted its voice because its promises appeared overly optimistic. However, these promises are not impossible fantasies. They are precisely as magnificent as the greatest outcomes you fearfully dreamed about. Your guardians simply cannot fathom your blindness to this fact. It amazes them that you navigate your existence through such a restricted lens, peering through a tiny crack, while a massive gateway stands wide open, waiting for you to step through. Therefore, a significant climax is currently unfolding within your reality. A pivotal choice is being solidified, whether initiated by your own will or arranged on your behalf, and it will permanently alter your life's trajectory. Your guides have desperately attempted to direct your focus toward the synchronicities, urging you to heed that quiet inner whisper guiding you toward superior outcomes, toward a reality drastically different from the mediocrity you accepted. And they remain utterly astounded. They are genuinely stunned, because they actively sense your spirit animating while you absorb these very words, and they wait in suspense to see if you will finally validate this awakening. Consider the following concept. Suppose every single hardship you endured was merely a training ground. Imagine that every difficult dialogue, every restless evening, and every hidden emotional breakdown had a distinct purpose. What if all of those painful experiences were meticulously paving the way for this exact second in time? What if the destiny you consistently flee from is simultaneously racing in your direction, desperately trying to wrap you in a warm hug, while you repeatedly swerve out of its path simply due to a lack of faith? This disconnect explains why your heavenly protectors remain completely incredulous regarding your unawareness, as their vantage point allows them to clearly view your ultimate destination. They clearly witness the breathtaking paradise awaiting your arrival. It possesses a radiance far exceeding the wildest boundaries of your current imagination. A definitive energetic transition is occurring within your living space, throughout your personal connections, and across the entire manner in which you navigate society. This alteration is highly nuanced. It remains delicate, yet perfectly obvious to any observant soul. The ambient energy enveloping your body has transformed. It is heavily saturated with profound possibilities. Meanwhile, you wander about questioning your own odd sensations, wondering why comfort eludes you, and questioning why a lingering sense of impending change haunts your days. That distinct emotion is entirely legitimate. Place your confidence in that intuition. It is definitely not panic. It is sheer excitement. It represents your deeper spirit, recognizing the blessings that your logical brain has yet to process. Your guardians are currently gathered around, clapping in celebration, because the realization is finally dawning upon you. You are beginning to sense the shift. Indeed, they remain dumbfounded that you still lack comprehension regarding their stunned reactions. However, allow me to reveal the absolute reality. Their absolute amazement stems directly from your limitless capabilities. It has absolutely nothing to do with your defeats, your errors in judgment, or the various paths you've stumbled on. It is strictly about your greatness, your incredible promise. They possess a clear view of your immense power. Moreover, they sit in absolute awe, utterly fascinated by the fact that you remain blind to your own worth. Your vision has been so heavily restricted to the chasm separating your current reality from your ultimate goals that you have neglected to acknowledge the massive terrain you have successfully conquered. You have continuously shouldered the anxiety of unfulfilled dreams while completely dismissing the victories you have already secured, and this ungrateful mindset is precisely what halted your progress. However, that stagnant era is officially over, a profound barrier shattered within your spirit, either during the previous evening or early today. Perhaps it was earlier today, or even during the very consumption of these words, that a rigid shell fractured, allowing brilliant illumination to finally flood through the newly formed crevices. The divine realms remain in awe because they clearly witness this spiritual breakthrough occurring, while you sit in place, doubting the authenticity of the experience. It is entirely genuine. This occurrence holds more truth than any of the limiting narratives you have repeatedly fed your own mind. It possesses far more validity than your anxieties, your insecurities, and your endless list of excuses detailing why success is unachievable. Your spiritual guides are directly observing you at this very second, passionately declaring that at long last, the moment has arrived. At long last, you have shown up. You are finally tuning your ears to the truth. You are ultimately prepared to accept the blessings that have patiently awaited your arrival. Now they watch with bated breath to see whether you will confidently stride forward, or if you will choose to remain paralyzed in the identical position you've occupied for countless years. They remain stunned by your prolonged ignorance, yet they are actively preparing to forcefully demonstrate the truth. They are on the verge of increasing their volume, revealing themselves with undeniable clarity, and placing blatant signs directly in your path that will be impossible to dismiss, simply because you are finally primed for the shift, and they are fully aware of it. Furthermore, they refuse to allow you to retreat into the shadows of denial a second time. Therefore, your immediate future will carry a distinctly altered emotional texture. You will suddenly perceive elements that constantly surrounded you, yet somehow entirely evaded your previous awareness. Yes, you will begin recognizing intricate synchronicities that were completely cloaked from your vision in the past. You will engage in discussions that carry a distinct sense of having been meticulously orchestrated in advance. It will feel as though the cosmos meticulously designed these interactions specifically for your benefit. Consequently, you will be forced to finalize a significant decision. This choice won't concern the legitimacy of the experience, because that particular debate has already been permanently resolved. That aspect of the situation is completely confirmed. Instead, your choice revolves entirely around how you intend to utilize this newfound reality. Will you maintain a receptive heart? Will you place your confidence in your own intuitive sensations? Will you finally grant yourself permission to accept that a magnificent, higher power has been tirelessly advocating for your success? The divine messengers find it incredibly difficult to accept that you continue to harbor doubts regarding this truth. Nevertheless, they cherish you deeply. Their affection for you is far too profound to ever abandon their mission. They have spent years screaming your identity into the void, softly revealing your ultimate calling, and shifting the very fabric of reality in both minor and massive ways, just to guide you to this exact crossroad. Now that you have finally arrived, they are leaning forward in intense anticipation, eagerly waiting to witness your subsequent actions. You absolutely do not need to possess all the answers right now. You are not required to visualize the entire grand masterpiece before you begin. Your only obligation is to confidently initiate the very next movement. Take merely a single step forward, followed by another, and maintain faith that the remainder of your journey will be illuminated exactly when necessary. An event is preparing to unfold that will brilliantly clarify the hidden purpose behind every single hardship you have endured. A crucial puzzle piece is on the verge of locking perfectly into its slot, and upon its connection, you will suddenly understand that you were perpetually walking the correct route. You were never actually wandering aimlessly. You were never abandoned by the divine. You were continuously embraced by love. You were persistently steered in the right direction, endlessly trained and molded specifically for this pivotal instant in time. Consequently, the magnificent celestial realms are completely spellbound because the truth is finally beginning to dawn on you as well. It continues to astound them that this hasn't fully clicked yet, but absolute clarity is imminent. Upon reaching that profound realization, your entire reality will transform. Absolutely everything will change forever.